right, yeah, we live now.
We hot.
Yeah. So what's going on, Players Choice family? Here's our first ever episode of Chill with Chill. You know, I'm Big Ox Bob. This right here is Chill Town. Happy to have y'all. Anything you want to say to the people, Chill?
Hey man, what's up, man? This is our first episode. My man Big Ox, big fan. We starting this off today. Definitely starting it today. So this should be dope.
Yeah. So just to let y'all know, this is a chance for y'all to come up and talk to Chill, send some super chats through. We're gonna do some educating on this channel here. So if y'all got any questions, if you're looking to learn anything, this is the place to go. Ask Chill some questions, and we're gonna sit back, chill, and wrap it up.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So Chill. Just for the people that don't know much about your history playing ball and all that, if you want to maybe go down and just run, put a people's code about your knowledge with the game and maybe your hoop resume, maybe starting from when you first started on up.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So a lot of people, when they hear people talk about basketball, they automatically assume that they played. Well, I did play. So I'm born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey. I went to a high school called St. Anthony High School in Jersey City. I played for the legendary coach Bob Hurley. My senior year in high school, we had the number 2 team in the country. We finished 32-1. I was a starter on that team. We lost one game that year. We lost to a team called Dunbar, Baltimore. They were the only team that beat us, and we were the only team that beat them. They finished number 5 in the country. I thought we had the best team in the country, but we ended up finishing second to Southwestern. They had Jalen Rose, Rashawn Leonard. They had a good team that year, and we finished second to them. I moved on the next year. I went to play junior college basketball at a place called Champlain College in Vermont, in Burlington, Vermont.
What position you played, Chill?
I played a 2 guard. So my game was modeled after guys like Joe Dumars. I was a big Joe Dumars fan. I was a huge Jordan fan. Guys like that were the guys that I modeled my game after. And I moved on to Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. It was my freshman year. We ended up finishing in the top 10 in the country. We were the number 8 team in the country. I was the player of the year in Region 3 my freshman year. We ended up losing to go to the Final Four. We lost in the Elite 8 to go to the Final Four my freshman year, and then the next year we ended up losing in the conference championship game. And I made the All-League team both of those years. I moved on from there. I went to play. I played 2 years at Utah State. That was completely different. That was a completely different experience. I'm not going to say it was a complete mistake because I met a lot of cool people. But as far as my basketball career, I probably could have made a better choice in playing somewhere else because I don't think that I was utilized as well as I could have been. But from there, I went on and I played in Ireland. I played over there for a season. I played for a team called I played in a town called Sligo, and I played there for a season. Ireland was awesome. From there, I went on and I played in Belgium. Belgium was a little different. Belgium was definitely different, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it neither. And then from there, I played in Greece in the 2nd division, and Greece was so dope. Oh man, I had a great time over in Greece, man. Greece was absolutely fantastic. So after that, I came back home, and I was a civilian. So
right on. Of all the places you played though, like when you were overseas, Ireland, Belgium, Greece, what would you say was your favorite place to be?
Oh, Greece was paradise, man. I never thought that I would be in a place like Greece, man. Greece, the people were fantastic. Not only was the people fantastic, the food was great. The scenery was great. We lived in a town called Chltwn32. Chltwn32 was just dope, man. The people were real gracious. And the competition in terms of the ball was really good too, yo. It was really good. So Greece was definitely the best place that I saw of all of them.
Yeah. Right on. So as far as like all your levels of play though, like what did you enjoy the most? Would you say it was playing pro ball or like at JUCO ball, high school?
The interesting thing. It's interesting you mentioned that, Ox, because high school ball was probably the most enjoyable because I learned the most. And the reason why I say that is because when I got to college, I realized how much of a business it was. And not only how much of a business it was, how less teaching was going on. There was a lot of guys. and you and I have had this conversation. We're on a panel where we talk about, you know, how many guys actually know how to play basketball. When I got to college, there were drills that we were in that I felt like I could teach this drill, and there were guys who didn't know what they were. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, wow, there's a lot of guys that don't know what we're doing, and it wasn't enough time to show it to them. And the reason why it wasn't enough time to show it to them, because we played a lot more games. Not only did we play a lot more games, coaches didn't have a lot of time to get you acclimated to this stuff, because they thought you already knew it by that point, when clearly don't. And it was plenty of guys on the crew who clearly didn't know it. So to be honest with you, playing for Coach Bob Hurley, he really taught me the game. And not only did he teach me the game, he taught me how to study the game too. And that went on from when I was in high school to when I was in college to when I played in Europe.
Okay, got another question for you. First, chat, you know the entrance fee is nothing but a like. Make sure you like the video, y'all. But yeah, so also I heard that you did a little reffing in your day too. How was that?
I did do that. I refereed college basketball. I refereed junior college and Division III basketball. I did that for 5 years. So that's why I thought it was interesting when I was watching the Lakers Celtics game last Saturday, because you know a lot of people they look at the call and they go, yo, how can you miss that call? And they just look at the one referee. Well, it's a multitude of things, right? So it's a multitude of things. So we'll start, Ox, with the guy at the hash mark. He's the one closest to half court. That's the dude in the trail. The guy in the trail, he's responsible for what's going on right in front of him, up into the free throw line and to the sideline. That's his area, right? So then the guy in front of him on the baseline, that's the lead official. Now the lead official, he's responsible for what's going on in front of him, up into the middle of the lane, right? Into the middle of the lane, into the free throw line, into the sideline. That's his area. Right. And then there's a guy on the other side of the floor. He's called the C, which is the center. Now the C, he's responsible for what's going on to the middle of the lane, right down to the basket, and then to the baseline and to the corner until the other referee comes over. That's his primary area. And what those three things are called primaries. That's your area that you're supposed to referee in. And the cardinal rule is ref your primary, right? I don't ref where you ref. You don't ref where I ref. Now, so when James comes out and gets the basketball, right? When James comes out and he gets the basketball, the trail official, now he's responsible for, like I said, what's going on in front of him and from the free throw line. And he's also responsible for defensive rebounding and anything going on in the lane. Yeah, that's what he sees, right? So the lead official, his job, he's got the action right in front of him. So when James is coming down the gut, the other thing that they tell us is not only referee your primary, referee the defense. So when James is coming down the gut, this referee, the lead, he should be looking at Grant Williams and Jason Tatum. I'm not paying attention to James because even though James has the ball, I'm paying attention to the defense mostly. That's the guy that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Jason Tatum and I'm looking at Grant Williams. And what I'm going to have is what's called a patient whistle, right? What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to anticipate the play, because if I anticipate the play, what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess. And if I guess, I could guess wrong. We don't want to do that. They tell us in officiating, call what you see. And if you guessing, that means that you didn't see that. You guessed it. So when he's coming down the lane, when I see Jason Tatum hit James on the arm, that immediately should be a whistle. Yeah. But he doesn't have a whistle. That's where the trail official comes in. Because again, he's looking down the gut and he's looking at defensive rebounding. He's looking at whatever is going on in the paint. But he's also taking a peek at the ball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the first, I'm going to give you the second, and I'm going to give you the third crack at making that call. If you don't blow that whistle, I got to come in with a whistle as the trail official. What that's called is a crew saver. What that means is I'm saving the whole crew, or you're saving the whole crew, because there's no way both of us can miss that call. No way that both of us can miss that call.
So what is your diagnosis on that? What went wrong? What happened?
What happened is that the trail official, he's looking at something else. Not only is he looking at something else, not only is he not paying attention to what's going on right there, he waited too long to let the lead have it. And he let the lead have it, no doubt about that. But he had to come in with the whistle. The lead, on the other hand, he just had for lack of a better term, a brain fart, because
Right.
that's his play coming right down the gut. If I'm the trail official, I should not have to have a whistle on that. That's all you. If you see a foul and have a patient whistle, he's going up, he's going up, he's going up. Oh, wait a minute, that's a foul. Instead of just anticipating the play, that's a foul. He's got to have a whistle on that. So him just standing there, one of two things was going on, Ox. Either he wasn't in position, which is clearly what he was. He was in position to see the play. It wasn't like somebody was behind him or somebody was in front of him. He was clearly in position to see the play. He was refereeing. He wasn't refereeing the defense, because if he was refereeing the defense, he would have seen the foul and he would have blown the whistle. And then the trail official, he got caught with his eyes somewhere else, because he's got to be involved in that on some level.
Right. So do you know, is there any like type of consequence for a ref that misses blatant fouls like that, like in the office, something that maybe I don't know about, the people don't know about? Is there any type of consequence for that?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that too, Gox, because when you see these referees that ref in the playoffs, because that's where the money is. The money is in the playoffs, right? So when you see these guys refereeing in the playoffs, they get there from refereeing games like what you just saw with the Celtics and the Lakers, when they ref in primetime games. Not only when they ref in primetime games, when they're reffing games where they're accurate. That's how they move up, right? So when you have plays like this, now what happens is the supervisor of officials. So, for example, if I miss that call, if I'm the lead official and I miss that call, and then the lead doesn't see it, the supervisor of officials, the first thing he's going to do when he talks to me is he's going to ask me, "What did you see?" And I got to explain what I saw. The next question he's going to ask me is, "Where were you?" And if I tell him where I was and what I saw, the next question he's going to ask me is, "Why wasn't there a whistle there?" And I'm going to have to explain that. So once I explain that and I don't have an answer that's satisfactory, now what's ultimately going to happen is I could get put on different games. I could go down in the rankings, because there's a ranking system when it comes to officials, right? There's a ranking system when it comes to officials where I can possibly be close to the playoffs. But if I'm doing stuff like this, my ranking can drop. And I won't be able to be put on games like that. And that means that I won't be able to make the kind of money that these guys are making. And I could also lose games, where that game on Saturday where I'm doing the Lakers and the Celtics. Well, I might be doing Sacramento Phoenix on Monday. Well, I'm getting taken off of that game. I'm getting taken off of that game, and I'm doing the Detroit Houston game maybe Tuesday, which is not nearly as good a game as Sacramento and Phoenix. So there are repercussions for this.
So what do you think as far as reffing goes? What would you say? How difficult, like maybe from, I don't know, either a grade score A to F or 1 to 10, how hard is it to ref basketball? Is it harder than the average person thinks, or
it's way more difficult than you think? It's what I equate it to. It's like being a cop, except for the instant replay. What I mean when I say that is you have to do something right now.
Yeah.
And I can't get this wrong. But the difference with reffing is we can actually go back and look at, did I get that right? Did I not get that right? But before, there was an instant replay where I had to make a decision, and I had to make a decision right now, right? It's very difficult to be an official, because it's not just blowing fouls, right? It's not just blowing the whistle and calling fouls. No, you got to understand plays. You have to have seen plays. You have to understand the position that you're in, where you should be, where you shouldn't be, when you're calling across the lane, if I'm not calling across the lane, when I should have a whistle, when I shouldn't have a whistle, what position I should be when I'm trailing, what position should I be in transition, what position should I be in the half court, how often should I be shifting? Things like that are very important. And you can break down one series, right? You can take 20 minutes just breaking down. De'Aaron Fox is coming down, and we're in a half court set, and De'Aaron Fox is coming down, and he got Book covering him, and he just makes one pass. We can break down 20 minutes of film just off that one play, where you are, where you're supposed to be, the rotation of the officials. Should I be more active? Should I drop? Should I shift myself? We can break down 10, 15, 20 minutes just off of that one play, because we're talking about getting this right. Not only getting it right, we're talking about getting it right. And if we get it wrong, this could affect jobs. This could affect playoff seedings. This could affect contracts, right? This could affect all of these things. So these are things that I can't get wrong, especially the obvious stuff. I can't get it wrong.
So earlier today on the Players' Choice show this morning that we were on, who was it? Can't remember. Somebody said, I think it was J-Rob. J-Rob was saying that he thinks that the refs should actually have to do some form of a press conference after the game. Apparently they do something, but it'll be a little more publicized. What do you think about that? Is that fair to the refs? Is that something you think the players would want?
I think that's why they have a union, and I think that's why not just the union rep, but the NBA takes care of that, right? The NBA is the one who basically protects officials from what they're not supposed, because NBA referees are human just like anybody else. So the last thing that the NBA wants is for an official to come on TV and go, "Damn, I missed the call. That's my fault." They don't want that. Absolutely not. Right? They don't want you. They don't want them in a press conference cussing out a reporter about, "Have you ever missed a call?" No, they don't want that. So what they do is they have spokespeople for that to protect them, to make sure that, just like in the NBA where you have a publicist who, there's certain questions that you can ask LeBron James or Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul. There's certain questions that you can ask these people as opposed to just holding their feet to the fire on the regular, even though that's necessary a lot of times, but there's people to protect them from that. Now, do I think that they should have to answer for that? Well, they do have to answer for it. They have to answer for it from their superiors. That's how they end up losing games. That's how they end up getting switched on to other games. That's how they end up losing rankings. So they do have to answer for it. Now, they may not necessarily answer to the public, but they do have to answer to somebody.
Right. Okay, let me see. Let me check out this super chat we got a little bit ago. This is our first super chat to the Chill with Chill show. Let me see. Says Jersey City native here. My bad. This is from David Rutherford. Jersey City native here from the Hill, Greenville, watching this show. I thought Chill might be Chltwn, but never knew. Salute.
Word. Greenville. I'm from the north side. I'm from downtown, right where Ferris High School is, PS number 9. I'm from the north side of town. Greenville is going. It's southeast. It's going toward Bayonne, and that's the side. That's the side of town he's from. One of my good friends is from the Greenville section. One of my good friends to this day. I've known him since the 7th grade. His name is Roy. So I'm very familiar with the Greenville section. Salute, brother. No doubt.
Well, I appreciate that, David.
No doubt. So.
Okay. Let me see. Got another one right here. We might as well just read this one now. Let me see. Niners season ended rough, but we good. We'll be back.
Yeah, we will be. We'll be back. I would have liked to have seen a cleaner game, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong. If the Philadelphia Eagles would have put it on us and we were healthy, then all right, I'm good. Yo, we just got straight stomped, and I have no problem with that. But when your quarterback can't throw, that's an integral part of the offense that's no longer there. And now all you have to key on is just the run. And not only all you have to key on is the run, our defense was on the field for almost 40 minutes. That's 3/4 of the game. So of course, after a while, we're gonna get run down. So when you take that part of the game out and then you keep the defense on the field for 37 minutes, what do you expect to happen?
Right. Appreciate that, Deco.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, so what you think? Y'all coming back? Y'all coming back next season?
What's the deal? Bosa is the only one. Bosa is the only one that's under contract. His contract is over after next season. Everybody else is still under contract. In terms of the core guys, everybody else is still under contract. So I'm so cool with what we're doing right now, and I'm not giving the ball. I'm not giving the ball to Trey Lance.
You're not.
I'm not giving.
So we got a Brock's team. It's Brock's team.
I'm not even gonna go that far, Ox. We got a quarterback battle coming into July.
Okay.
If Trey Lance, if this is your job, beat him out. That's what's going to have to happen. I think we got a quarterback battle. Beat him out, and then you can have the ball. But I'm not just going to give you the ball. No way am I going to do that.
Right.
Because I've seen how comfortable he is in that offense. Not only have I seen how comfortable he is in that offense, how much room he has to grow. He looks how much better he can get. And this surgery that he has, he should be ready by the time training camp opens, which is in July.
What happened to Brock? What even happened to Brock?
So he tore his UCL. That's a muscle in your elbow. It's similar to what pitchers. It's similar to what pitchers do in baseball, where they have to have Tommy John surgery, right?
Yeah.
And they're out for like 6 months. But He'll be. The word is that he should be throwing between 3 to 5 months. That's fine because again, training camp doesn't open until July. That's 7 months from now. So I'm cool with that. The season don't start till September. So training camp doesn't open until the end of July. We got plenty of time for him to heal up and get healthy. And I think it was a fluke injury because it wasn't something that happens to a whole bunch of people. I haven't heard of anybody recently with a UCL tear and not just getting hit and getting slammed. I'm talking about he just hit his arm.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that serious. It didn't look like it was that bad, but it was.
Right. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna drop the link here in a couple of minutes. You won't get pulled up instantly, and everybody might not be able to get pulled up. Don't get too upset with us. We're trying, to get everybody on. Just give me a second and make sure you got that camera on. I'm not pulling anybody up without that camera on.
Yep.
Let me see. I'm gonna drop it, but like I said, I'm not pulling you up instantly. Go ahead and click on the link though. Let me see. We got one more super chat. I'm gonna get to it before I got a couple more questions to ask you. It's from my man Elder Rufus. Let me see. Let me show that. My man Elder Rufus. Salute, fam. Great show so far. I like chilling with Chill. Blessings.
Rufus is my man. Me and Rufus go at it, man. Me and Rufus go at it all the time, and we chop it up all the time. Whether it's battling, whether it's just talking hoops, man. We don't agree on everything, but we don't disagree on everything neither.
Right.
There's no way we could disagree on everything. I mean, if we disagree on everything, there's no reason for us to be talking, right?
Yeah.
So me and Rufus, we go at it, and we don't disagree on everything. We don't agree on everything, but we don't disagree on everything. We chop, and I learn a lot from Rufus too. Hopefully, he learned some stuff from me, but I learned a lot from Rufus, no doubt.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Rufus. Good looking. One second. Let me make sure I start this. Chill. You have any so far? Have you had any change of heart so far this season? As far as the awards go, I know you probably made some predictions early on. Do you got any change of heart as far as defensive player of the year, MVP, all that type of stuff? Do you got any change of hearts?
Well, a couple things. Number one, I'm not as confident. I still think that the Milwaukee Bucks are the team to beat. I think that they can win the NBA championship. I'm not as confident as I was 2 months ago. Middleton is getting back into the lineup, and that's helping. Bobby Portis just went out of the lineup, so he's going to be out for a couple more weeks. So I'm not as confident as I was 2 months ago, but I still am confident that this team could definitely win it. The league MVP, I'm still confident that Giannis can win it. As good as Joker has been playing, right? As good as Embiid has been playing, I thought that Jason Tatum would be in the conversation within a year, and sure enough, he is in the conversation. I still think that the Golden State Warriors are the team to beat out West. I was wrong about Minnesota. Ironically, though, Big Ox, because I had them as a top 5 seed in the West. Even they're a game and a half out the 5th spot, just so you know. They're only a game and a half out the 5th spot. Everybody was talking about, the New Orleans Pelicans are the team to beat in the West. I always felt like they were a lead guard away from really challenging.
Yeah.
But health has straight crippled them. I mean, they lost their last 9 games. And in the process of them losing their last 9 games, they're dropping in the standards. I had them as a play-in team before the season started. The reason why I had them as a play-in team is because I'm looking at how stacked the West was. I didn't think that they was better than the Clippers. I didn't think they were better than Denver. I didn't think they were better than Golden State. I didn't think they were better than Phoenix. That was before Book went down. So I still think that they're a lead guard away, and I will tell you this, Big Ox, I think that lead guard is Mike Conley. Now, a lot of if we could get them healthy, so like let's say this the stretch run, if you could get Brandon Ingram healthy, if you could get Zion healthy, if you could get these guys healthy enough, and Mike Conley, you don't need him to be buckets. Like a lot of people will see him and be like, well, he can't score. Well, we don't need him to score because Brandon Ingram is buckets. Zion is buckets. I think you need a steady floor leader. And this season with Mike Conley, number one, he's having his best assist to turnover ratio this season. Not only that, he's averaging the most assists this season. So if he could get on a crew like New Orleans, where there's better talent, not only better talent, better floor spacing, he'll get better looking shots. And I think he'll be more effective offensively just as a scorer alone. Now, also what he'll do is he'll keep them steady. and he'll keep them poised. So when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game and we got to slow the offense down, or not just slow the offense down, where we just got to get guys more involved. CJ is good as CJ was when he played with Dame because he played off the basketball. That's where he's the most effective. And if you could get him playing back off the basketball, I think that he would be so much more effective. I think Mike Conley would do that for him.
So are you saying, just to clarify, are you saying that if the New Orleans Pelicans were able to get a guy like Mike Conley, you would be willing to have them coming out the West, or are you just saying?
I think that they could chat. I think that they would be a legitimate contender in the West. I don't think that they would be a first round exit. No, I think that they would be a legitimate contender in the Western Conference. Considering Zion is healthy, considering that Brandon Ingram is healthy come to playoff time. If you could get Mike Conley with CJ, I think that this team has a legitimate shot. Because I love Valanciunas. I love everything about Valanciunas. You got your dirty work guy. You got your buckets on the wing in both Zion and BI. You got your backup. You got your backup point guard in Alvarado, who's one of the best backup point guards in the game. Everybody who knows me knows how big of a Herb Jones fan I am. I think Herb Jones could be in the conversation with Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good I think he is. He gives me a lot of Bruce Bowen vibes. But I think that if these guys could get healthy and get a solid floor leader like Mike Conley, I like their chances at being in the Western Conference Championship. I do.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that take either. So we got a couple guys in the waiting room. Two set apart. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, brother. Let me just read maybe one or two more of these super chats real quick. Pimp named Slickback. He says, let me see. He says, nah, brother, he needs Tommy John. Check new report.
Check the new report. So he's
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, he does need Tommy John surgery. So again, now with baseball players, it's a year process. Now with him, because the same thing happened with Paul George with his elbow. The same thing happened with Paul George, and he was out. I think Paul George was out for 4 or 5 months. So with Brock Purdy, I think it's the same thing. I don't think that he's going to be out a year. I don't think it's going to take that long. So we'll see.
Okay, one more from my man Leopold. Trey Lance only played 19 games since 2019, less than 400 total passes in college. I'm still confused by them drafting him.
That's why it's not him. It's not them drafting him. Them drafting him was not the problem. I didn't have a problem with that. I just wasn't ready to give him the football. See, Jimmy G was going to get hurt. So Jimmy G's track record shows that he gets hurt. So that wasn't the issue. Trey was going to get reps. I just wasn't ready with the crew that we already had, not with the crew that we already had, how good we were offensively to give this guy the football and say, all right, take us to the Super Bowl. He wasn't ready. And I think we rushed him. And I think he could have stood to sit behind Jimmy for another season. He was clearly going to get the reps. That was not going to be the problem. He was going to get reps because Jimmy was going to get banged up. That's who Jimmy is.
No doubt. Okay, let me get my man two set apart in here. What's going on, brother?
Yo. Hey, what's up? How y'all doing, man?
All right. How you doing?
Yeah, I hope y'all having a blessed day today. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Everything's going well with y'all. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
So what's up, man? Oh, appreciate that. So what's up, my man? You got some smoke for chill, or you just got some questions to ask?
It's not low-key smoke for chill, but I feel like you know what I'm saying? I think I got a good argument with him, you know what I'm saying, with this LeBron versus Michael debate. I feel like.
Okay.
Let's hear it. I really feel like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm honestly surprised. Honestly, you're one of the first, you know what I'm saying, elder guys who I see talk about basketball who, you know what I'm saying, really feel like LeBron is the GOAT. And that's very interesting to me because I feel like you've seen Jordan play basically his whole career, correct?
When he had hair and they used to call him Air Jordan. I remember that dude.
Absolutely. So I just want to know, like, what's your particular reasoning on why do you think LeBron is better than Michael Jordan specifically?
Well, we'll start the conversation with, it took me a long time to come to this conclusion, fam. It wasn't like it was something that I just came up with and was like, yo, James is better than, no, it took me, James is in year 10, right? In 2013, and he had won the MVP for the 4th time in 5 years, won the NBA championship in back-to-back seasons. And you got people talking about him and Jordan in the same conversation. And I'm about ready to get into a fight because I'm like, no, he's not close to as good as this dude. Absolutely not. I wasn't even interested in having that conversation at that point. even after everything that he had done. So if you move on to the 2015 season, when he took that Cleveland Cavaliers team, which was at the bottom of the East the year before, he took them to the NBA Finals without Kevin Love, who he lost early in the playoffs. He lost in the first round against Boston. And then he basically didn't have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was in and out of the playoffs. They swept Atlanta. Kyrie Irving missed half of that series. Not only did he miss half of that series, that Atlanta team, 62 wins that year. And I think they were 14 games over 500 against the Western Conference. The only team they lost to was Cleveland. Everybody else they served. And Cleveland swept them out the playoffs. And then they get to the NBA Finals where he's got Dellavedova at the 1, J.R. Smith at the 2, James at the 3, Tristan Thompson at the 4, and the Russian at the 5. And they're up in the series. This dude got me thinking, can they win this? Are you serious? They can beat these dudes? So then the logic is, I'm not there yet. But then what happens in 2016 when he does what he does? Now the conversation starts. Okay, is he better than Jay? I'm not sure that he's better than. I'm not there yet, but the conversation is now starting because when I think about a guy who came into the game with the amount of fanfare, the amount of hype, and the amount of pressure that he came into the game with and delivered. Not only did he deliver, he kept delivering. This is a guy who had plenty of bad outings where a lot of guys could have folded. The 2011 finals, what he did at that 2011 finals, where he was a shell of who he used to be, he could have folded right up after that, but he didn't. In fact, he came back the next year and won the league MVP, and then came back the year after that and won it again. Not many guys are doing that after such a bad outing. So for a guy to just come back, and not just come back, but for a guy to deliver like he's delivered over and over and over again, there's a generation of kids that don't know the NBA Finals without LeBron James. There's an entire generation of kids that can say that, yo, in the 8th grade, I remember James being in the NBA Finals from me being in the 8th grade to me graduating college, some nonsense like that, right? So I can't say that about any other player that I've seen in my lifetime, and I've seen a bunch of them. I've seen a bunch of them, and I didn't get robbed of James. I actually saw him right from the beginning, how much better he got as a defender, how much better he got as a perimeter scorer, as a mid-range jump shooter, how his game improved, and all the stuff that was going on with him, constantly him getting roasted for you moving to Miami and you doing this, and not only him doing that, him delivering constantly, getting better as a defender, getting better as a distributor, getting better as a scorer, getting better as a leader. And he was doing this every year, year after year. And he was the guy who, when we're in the championship series, he's the best player in the championship series. I can't name, there are many guys that I've seen in the championship series where I can say, you wasn't the best player in this championship series every time you was in it. I can't say that about Magic. I can't say that about Jabbar. And I'm a huge Jabbar fan. I think Jabbar is one of the top 3 players all time. I can't say that about him. I can say that about Jay. I can definitely say that about Jay. But I can't say that about a whole bunch of other people. I can say that about James. He was the best player in every championship series he was in. Even in 2007, as good as Tim Duncan was. Even as good as Tim Duncan was. So then you move to 2018, 2019, right? So even with that, even what he did in the 2018 season when he threw that team on his back, now the chatter is getting louder. So he moves on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Probably moving on to the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a Lakers team that was in 10th place the year before. And the only major move that they did was they got James on the team. So before he gets hurt on Christmas, this is a team that was in 10th place the year before. And this is the Western Conference that they said to James, the only reason why you were in the NBA Finals every year was because you were in the East. He's got this team that was in 10th place the year before, 2.5 games out of first place. It was at that point that I was like, I think he might be better than Jay.
How you feel about that?
I think he might be better than Jay.
All right, here's why I would, you know what I'm saying, I would definitely have to disagree, because my thing is first of all, let me tackle the 2015 finals. You know what I'm saying? When he went 6 games with the Warriors, Kyrie went down, Kevin Love went down. I just want to point out Jordan did something comparable in the 1998 finals because Scottie Pippen was a shell of himself. You know what I'm saying? In them playoff series, and then during the season when Scottie was having issues with his contract about getting paid and stuff like that, Jordan was dragging him. you know what I'm saying, to the playoffs at 35 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then in that playoff series, Scotty, you know what I'm saying, in that series with Utah, he was a shell of himself. And then for that game 6 where they closed it, the score, you know what I'm saying, the scores was in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan finished that game with 45 points.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So we had half of that total score that they had. And people would say, oh, Jordan can't win without Scotty. Well, if we go back to when Jordan faced the Pistons in game 7 back in the 80s, you know 90s. What I'm saying? In that finishing series, how much points did Scotty average?
In that series in 1990? I don't think he did well in that series.
He did not do well in that series.
No, he didn't.
And Jordan, he averaged 30. So did the Pistons stop Jordan or did they stop the Bulls? You know what I'm saying? Of course, Scotty had to elevate his play, but I think Scotty is correctly rated where he is. And of course, Jordan, I don't mean to bash Scotty and bring that into it, but I just want to
like you are, though.
Jordan can also lead.
We don't accept any Scottie Pippen slander on this.
Yeah, no Scottie Pippen slander, because Scottie Pippen is a dog. I want to point that out right now. Scottie Pippen is a straight dog. No disrespect to Scottie Pippen. Shout out Scottie Pippen. But as far as Jordan not be able to carry, that's blasphemous. Now,
I will tell you this, because you brought up the 2015 NBA Finals. I want to make sure that I remember correctly. James led the 2015 NBA Finals in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. These are how many players in the history of the NBA ever did that. No player in NBA history has ever done that.
But Jordan also averaged 43 points in the 1993 Finals, and no players ever did that.
Actually, it's 41.
8 rebounds, and 66.
Actually, it's 41.
Hold on one second, fellas, because Dev was in the back waiting to get put on. He said that he thinks Chill is cooking. So let me see if he got something to add to this two set apart. Let me see if I can get my man up here. You ready, Dev?
Yeah, I'm ready. How you doing? I'll get into the topic. I'm doing great. I'm glad you guys doing well. Big fan of both of y'all. And I want to address, I'll address my question later. I'll get on this topic. So I agree with Chltwn. Because it's 1A, 1B, because I've seen LeBron. I'm part of that crew. I'm a junior in college right now. I've seen LeBron dominate the league from, I'm gonna say when I started watching basketball 2010. Like when LeBron made the playoffs every year, I thought the NBA was LeBron because he's in the finals every year. I think his accomplishments, because people like to downplay his 4 and 6, and I feel that that's very disingenuous. Because yes,
it is disingenuous. I agree with that.
Because I'm a track and field athlete. Yes, he played the game to win, but your ultimate goal is to get there and have the opportunity to win and elevate. Because this is a team game at the end of the day, and there's some outliers that can't happen. Because people saying 2016, Draymond Green didn't get hurt. But yeah, okay, Draymond Green missed one game. They still had to go to Golden State in Game 5 to win that. They still had Golden State had an opportunity in Game 6 to win it, even without Draymond Green. They still had an opportunity because you got Stephen Clay, the MVP, Klay Thompson, a deep team. And Game 7, anything could have happened.
They had 3 games to win one. They had 3 games to win one game, and 2 of them 3 games was on their home floor. I don't listen to none of that logic from them. From people who try to sell me that.
Right, exactly. Because if you remember that Game 7, they was at a stalemate. Neither team was missing shots. And LeBron James had one of the best defensive moments I've seen in history with that block shot, which led to the Kyrie Irving shot. And also, people don't like to point out the individual accolades, like 4 MVPs. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. Because
time out, brother. We're gonna talk about individual accomplishments.
Oh yeah,
is that the argument you gonna bring up? Because I'm bringing totality.
I'm bringing totality too. Because individual accomplishments, Jordan. I think Jordan might have got it too, but it's
yes, because Jordan. Time out, because I'm also pointing this out. Jordan, he beats LeBron in every single category, face value, right? So let's talk about stats and analytics.
Gotcha.
Jordan beats LeBron in points, steals, blocks, free throw percentage, and turnover percentage. LeBron only beats him
regular season or
career.
Okay, gotcha.
Total.
Real quick, two set apart.
Jordan in assists and rebounds, and let's talk about player efficiency rating, right? Jordan.
I need real quick, bro. Make sure you make this one count. I need y'all to come with your final points.
I got you.
We're gonna wrap it. All right, go ahead.
I'm a cook. Jordan has led the league. We're talking about dominance, right? So LeBron has led the league in player efficiency rating 6 times. You know how many times Jordan's led the league in player efficiency rating?
What, 7?
How many?
7.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many times he was top 3 in players' efficiency rating?
All those years, I think.
10 times.
9. I was thinking. I thought it was 9. Okay.
LeBron is 9. So
right.
he hasn't.
So what we're doing is we splitting hairs right now. That's basically what we're doing.
Hairs, but that's
we really splitting hairs.
What LeBron fans do.
But we split hairs. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to get the
we
real.
really are. So because when you're talking about edges, it's really something that's that simple. It's not where it's just a complete wash. Where I hear people say to me, I hear people telling me, Jordan is the only player to lead the league in scoring and be first team all defense and win MVP 4 straight years. Well, it's interesting you mention that because James won the league MVP 4 times. James was first team all defense 4 times, and he finished second
right there.
And not only did he finish second in the league in scoring, all 4 of those years that he did it, not only did he finish second in the league in scoring, it was by an average margin of
and that's 1 the point I was going to make.
That's it. 1 point was what we're talking about here. So it's not like we're talking about it's completely on the other side, because it's not completely on the other side. I mean, if we're talking about numbers here, it's not that simple. So
Dev,
it's more.
Dev, you got one more point, Dev. You want to get off?
Basically the point, that was the point, because it's very equal. In my opinion, if you got Jordans to go, I don't care. If you got LeBron to go, I don't care. The point I was making, because they're very close. It's 1A, 1B to me, because the point, if you just go over that stats and play wise, they're 2 different play styles, and they are both elevated in moments when people say there's some more happenings. And the one thing, my final point is, I hate when people say LeBron don't have this mentality. You don't go to 10 straight finals or play 20 years without having that mentality. It's just basic logic.
It's a fact.
Because the dedication to take care of body and all that. And that's just a final point I want to make up, because I just want to debunk that myth, the whole LeBron don't have that killer mentality when there's a very vivid proof. But that's it.
Right on. We appreciate y'all for coming up, man. We'll get you back on next week or some other time.
No doubt.
Thanks a lot.
All right, yo. Be easy, fam. No doubt.
Y'all stay tuned in. Make sure y'all liking the videos.
Word. Because again, when we're talking about stuff like that, it really is splitting hairs. It's not something that's that distinctive where it's like, yo, this is just it, and it's just this much better. I've always said, and I still stand on the logic, the only thing I always felt like Jay did better than James was score. I think everything else was a legit conversation, and it could go to James.
Yeah.
Everything else.
No doubt. That argument, just like the young man Dev was saying, that argument is when you choose one or the other at this point, it's getting to where you're just splitting hairs. You being real tic-tacky about certain things.
Yeah.
So I got one more person in the back. OJ did it. I'm gonna read a couple of super chats real quick, and we're gonna get him up.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. So let me see about these super chats. Excuse me. I don't want that. I don't want that L host on my name.
Nah, we doing it over here. We rolling real good over here. This is good stuff, man. This is really good stuff. So
make sure we get to all these these super chats. Real quick, let me see who we got first. We got let me see. From Cameron Smith, he says favorite 2 podcasters along with Mars.
Word, that's what's up. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you. No doubt.
Appreciate that love, Cam. Right on.
No doubt.
Next we got Travis Weems. Salute, chill. Always great content from you, man.
Thanks, brother. I'm gonna keep trying to push it out for you. No doubt.
That's a fact, Travis. Chill. Stay with the heat. Stay with the heat. Let me see. One more from my man AB. OG, 2 questions. Would you say Russ and KD was top 5 at their positions during their run? If so, would you call them underachievers? Would you call them underachievers?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because we just had a conversation. Ox was on the panel yesterday. We just had a conversation about this, about Russ. Within the next year or so, Russ is going to be a part of the 25,000 point, 10,000 assist club. And we were asking, how are we going to be talking about Russ moving forward? Well, if you just look at the numbers, he looks like he's a top 3-point guard all time if you look at the numbers. But if you go back and you watch his game, Russ was enigmatic. Russ was erratic. Russ had a lot of wow stuff going on. But from a talent standpoint and from a production standpoint, he might not have been as efficient as a lot of people would like him to be. But he still was damn good. And when I think about during his era, right? So Russ showed up in 2009. So during that era from 2010 to 2019, I mean, Steph Curry won the league MVP during that time, and Russ won the league MVP during that time.
Yeah,
Russ was a first team All NBA performer numerous times during that time. He took his team to the Western Conference Finals 3 times in 5 years during that time, right? So when I think about the best point guards in the NBA during that decade, after Steph Curry, I don't think that anybody has a legit case over Russ.
Right.
And with that being said, I'm a big Damian Lillard fan. And I think that Damian Lillard he's better than Russ simply because how heady he is. So I'm going to take that back and say I don't think that anybody has a legit case except for Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Because I've seen Damian Lillard outplay him. But other than that, that's as far as I'm going. Steph and Damian Lillard. That's it. I'm not going past those two.
That's fair. Thanks for that super chat, AB. So my man OJ did it. He's back here waiting. He's been waiting patiently. I had him holding on for a while. Let me get him up here, see what he got for you, Chltwn. OJ, what's up, man?
What's good with y'all fellas, man? How y'all doing?
Nah, man, appreciate you being patient, brother.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man. But hey, chill, man. I don't know how you gonna feel about me after this one, dog. So I remember watching.
Hold on. Let me tighten up my boxing gloves because
go ahead.
Let me tighten my boxing gloves up.
Scrap them up, dog.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
For sure. All right, so I was looking at the panel, man, and like y'all was talking about y'all's top 10 players all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you had Kobe Bean Bryant at 11.
I did.
Could you like elaborate on that a little bit more, man? Like, why do you have Kobe outside your top 10?
The best players to ever play the game are big guys. And not only are the best players to ever play the game big guys, the best teams that the NBA has ever seen in NBA history, the best teams to come through the NBA have been powered by the big man. And
hold on. Not to cut you off, though, not to be respectful, but the 2 top teams that came to my head were the 2017 Warriors and the 96 Bulls.
Right.
And don't none of them have a great big man on them.
None of them don't have a great big man, but the 67 Philadelphia Warriors do. The 72 Lakers do. The 87 Lakers do. The 2000 to 2002 Los Angeles Lakers do. The let's see, who else am I thinking about? The Boston Celtics do. All of those Spurs teams do. All of those teams are powered by the big man. So when I think about the best players to ever play, 6 of my top 10 are big men. James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, Diesel. James, I already talked about how awesome I thought that he was. No question about that, where he is. Jay is the same thing. I've already talked about where he is. Jabbar has a legit case not to be the best player in NBA history. With his resume, he's got a resume to be the best player in the history of basketball. There's nobody whose resume is comparable to his. It's not even close, right? So then number 4, Chamberlain. Every record in NBA history has Chamberlain's name either attached to it or he still holds it to this day. He is in 1967. His Philadelphia Warriors team is the only team that beat the Boston Celtics in that era. He led the finals in assists. These how many big men in the history of the NBA can say that they did that to this day. There's no other big men who can say that they did that to this day. Fast forward to the 1972 NBA Finals with the best team in NBA history at that time. They won 69 games that year, and they have to this day a 33-game win streak. Chamberlain finished second that year in league MVP votes. He averaged almost 20 and 20 in the finals when they said he was washed. He averaged almost 20 and 20 in the finals that year, right? So, and then you move on to Bill Russell. As good as those Boston Celtics team were, they were middle of the road until they got Bill Russell. Bill Russell has a 4-year stretch where he averaged almost 20 and 20 in the playoffs, including 2 straight seasons where he averaged 20 and 20 in the playoffs. Chamberlain is the only other guy who can say that he did that in the history of the NBA. He still holds the record to this day for the most points and rebounds combined in an NBA Finals game, where he went 30 and 40 in Game 7 to this day. So 5 league MVPs. I can talk about how the league MVP gets kind of skewed, but a guy who is now the difference, and add all of that up with not just the difference, a guy who did it for as long as he did it, and did it at a high level with an NBA where you can make the argument, well, it was only 8 teams, it was only 12 teams. That means that I had to see the tougher competition even more. If you can imagine Shaq having to see Olajuwon instead of having to see him twice, before Christmas, he's got to see him 8 times. It's a completely different thing. Magic Johnson at number 6. Magic Johnson revolutionized the point guard position. Before, if no Magic, there's no Luka. If no Magic, there's no James. If no Magic, there's no Tracy McGrady. If no Magic, there's no LeBron James. There's none of these guys because Magic Johnson revolutionized the big guard spot. If Magic doesn't show up, none of these guys exist. Then you got Bird. Bird is, when I talk about the best players, Bird exemplifies that. And from a talent standpoint, there might be some guys who are more talented, but I don't go with that logic as much. And the reason why I don't go with that logic as much is because I've seen more talented guys get outplayed. I've seen that happen. So Bird, for a decade, was first team All-NBA 9 times in 10 years. Finished first or second 7 times in 9 years in the league MVP votes. He was hands down the best player at his position for a decade. I think Kobe Bryant was too. But Bird also was, no question about that. Then I move on to Tim Duncan. I mean, Tim Duncan exemplified winning. He never missed the playoffs one time, and
that's where it's gonna get crazy.
Not only did he not miss the play, not only did he never miss the playoffs, he was winning league MVPs and NBA championships during prime years of Shaquille O'Neal, of Kobe Bryant, of Kevin Garnett. During those guys during his era, he was winning league MVPs. He was winning NBA championships.
He didn't have a winning record against him, but he did win against him though.
But he was winning NBA championships. He was winning league MVPs. Absolutely, he was doing that, and he had a sustained greatness for a lot of years. And add all of that up to the fact that he was one of the best defensive players to ever play, who doesn't get nearly as much credit as he should. Never had a negative spot on him. I think he might be, with the exception of Scottie Pippen, I think he's the only player that I can argue the best defensive player to never win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's the only one that I can make that argument about. Then there's Olajuwon at number 9, and Olajuwon at number 9. When I think about Olajuwon at number 9, he exemplified what the big guy is. Not only does he exemplify what the big guy is, what he did in the postseason in 1994 and in 1995 has been unmatched to this day. He not only did he win the league MVP in 94, he won the Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan was the only guy who did that before him. And he won the NBA championship, and he won the NBA finals, MVP. So nobody had done that before him. Now, then you move on to the 95 season. Even though he led the playoffs in scoring and broke the record for the all-time scoring leader in playoff points in a season, Olajuwon did that. Nobody had done that before him. Then he proceeds to break the record again the next year. He is the best defensive player that I've ever seen in the history of the NBA. As long as I've been watching the NBA, that includes Jabbar, that includes Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, all of these guys that I've actually watched with my own eyes. Hakeem Olajuwon is the best defensive player that I've ever seen. And then there's Shaq. And when I think about Shaq, I think about a guy who he was that dude right from the beginning, and he stayed that dude for longer than a decade. So I want to make sure that the guys that I have on my top 10, I want to make sure that you clear on where they are and why they're there. Number 1, is your game timeless? Number 2, did you dominate? Number 3, did you win? Number 4, how impactful was your game? And number 5, socially, how impactful are you? So when I think about Bryant being 11, I don't think about Bryant being 11. He could be 10. He could be 8. And I've had conversations.
Top 5.
I've had conversations with people who I can't have a conversation with somebody that got him at 2 or at 3. Nah. But if you got him 7, or if you got him at 9, or if you got him at 11, I don't have a problem with that. But if you got him at like 13 or 15, I'm not talking to you. You clearly don't have a clue.
How you feel about that, OJ?
You made a good little point. But I just want to make sure that when you had said you value big men more than you value the guards, pretty much you saying?
I'm definitely a big man guy. Yes, I am.
I feel that, but like a lot of the big men that you named needed great guards to win.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you need the guards to bring the ball up the court. You need the guards to, open things up for the big man, run the pick and roll, make good plays.
Correct.
So when I think about Kobe Bryant, I feel like when people don't put him in their top 10, they kind of discredit him for playing with Shaq. And when you look at everything that he achieved with Shaq with the 3 straight championships, Kobe Bryant accumulated just about the same amount of points for his team with the Lakers during that championship run after 2000. So when you look at the percentage of points that Kobe Bryant accumulated with that LA team in the early 2000s, I mean, like it's hard to discredit him for that. And then with everything he achieved in the second half of the 2000s, winning the MVP, 3 straight NBA Finals, you know, winning 2 of them, I feel like, you know, Kobe definitely should be top 5. I get 5, maybe 6, but definitely top 5 because I put him over Magic. I put him over Larry. I put him over Akeem. I put him over Tim Duncan. I mean, when it comes to Tim Duncan, like he has a 4-2 playoff record versus Tim Duncan. They both played in their prime. You feel me? And when you look at those Lakers and Spurs series, Kobe Bryant, he was leading each one of those series in scoring. So when you talking about him,
that was later. That was later on. That was later on. But
I'm talking about from 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and 2008. Kobe Bryant led each one of those series in scoring.
You can't leave out the. I mean, they did play them in '98 too. I mean, '99.
They played them in '99.
Yeah, they did play them in '99. That matters. They played them in 2003 too. I mean, we can't leave that out.
Kobe led that series in scoring too, but they lost. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the impact that Kobe had on the Lakers winning. You know what I'm saying? Winning or losing. Versus the Spurs, their biggest rival. Definitely leading that. So I really can't see how you got Tim Duncan over him. But I can see how you got an argument over Magic. You know, when it comes to the impact of winning that Magic and Larry both had, you know, I can definitely see that. But Akeem, Tim Duncan, what's another player? Bill Russell. Nah, I can't see having up with them. And with that, I got to see Kobe being at least you saying top 6, but I got him top 5.
That's fair. That's fair, OJ. That's a fair argument. We appreciate you coming up here speaking.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother.
Thanks a lot for that.
I'm gonna loosen up the gloves. Okay, I thought they were gonna have to be tighter because but we good. We good.
OJ, you always welcome up here, brother. Anytime we drop a link, click on that.
Come through.
All right, my man. Have a good one, brother.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, Chltwn, I thought he might have had something for you.
Hey,
but yeah. But yeah, man. I just before we do get a couple more of these super chats off, I just wanted to. Did you say who you had coming out the East and West? Did that change up at all?
No, it didn't. I still got Milwaukee. I just don't feel as confident today as I did 2 months ago, but I still got them. Right. And in the West, and in the West, I think Golden State. I still think they're the team to beat. And but Denver is right there.
No doubt. I'm kind of leaning the same way as you.
But since we're talking about it, Ox, I mean, can we talk about them boys up in Sacktown? Because I had them as a playing team, right? I had Sack as a playing team, and I had them not as a playing team. I'll take that back. I had them on the outside of the playing tournament. I had them as the 11th seed, right? I still thought that they were a little bit further away. But one thing that I didn't have, and I got roasted for this, was. But before the season started, I had De'Aaron Fox ahead of Ja. Every time he goes up against Ja, I had De'Aaron Fox ahead of Ja. Every time he goes up against Ja, not only does he outplay him, he's got a winning record against him. Every time he goes up against him. So with that all being said, when I look at this Sacramento team, number one, the one thing that's the most important, they got a pro. And they got a pro in Harrison Barnes, who I love, right? Yes. I'm so digging him. Then you got De'Aaron Fox, who is basically a more athletic version of Nick Van Exel. That's who he reminds me of. His ability to get to the basket, get into the teeth of the defense, score on anybody, and get other guys involved. Then you got a glass cleaner in the Euro in Sabonis, who I think both of those dudes are going to make the All-Star team. For Atlanta to let her to just walk out the front door and just hand him all, I thought that was huge. Now to get Keegan Murray. And the way he's been playing, right? Early on, he looked like he was trying to figure it out, but he looked like he's just kind of melting into what you guys are doing. And he just fits so well with what y'all doing. And for the Lakers to let Malik Monk walk out the front door, Rob Pelinka should be fired for that alone. He should actually, I can't believe that he just would let Malik Monk walk out the front door. This Sacramento team is for real. I don't know I don't know what it's going to look like in the playoffs because it's new and there's really no history there. But these dudes ain't no joke. I want to make sure that I'm clear on that. Sack is no joke.
Right. I think Kevin Huerter is a big shot maker. Keegan Murray, I think he came in kind of with the same mindset as Harrison Barnes. I think Harrison Barnes is the perfect person for him to play up under because I think he already has that professionalism about him. It's crazy because behind LeBron James, Keegan Murray is actually my son's favorite player. It's crazy. He loves Keegan Murray. Yeah, so that's crazy. But you know
anybody
what I wanted to do?
Real quick, Ox, anybody that said that Sacramento was a top 5 seed before the season started, you lying. You lying. Don't say that. You lying.
All right, well, I'm on tape. I'm on tape saying that we could be the 3rd seed, and I got laughed. I almost got laughed off the show. Almost got laughed off the show because I said we can get anywhere from 3 to 6. I think Dale, everybody pretty much was laughing.
Well, I tell you what, then I stand corrected because I didn't hear anybody say that the Sacramento Kings was a top 5 seed coming into the season, considering how stacked the Western Conference was. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I wanted to do something really quick, kind of like a word association type game with you. So I'm pretty sure you know how it goes. I'm gonna just read off a couple words, and maybe if you could just, as quick as you can, fire off. It could be a name, a player. I would prefer if you did choose like a player or somebody associated with the game, or just whatever word comes to your mind. Right. So I think I got about 10 words real quick. We'll run them off just in about 30 seconds. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. First word we're gonna go with is defense.
Leonard.
Okay. Underrated.
Sabonis.
Champion.
James.
Underachiever.
Leonard.
Overachiever.
Ooh, overachiever. Who is an overachiever? Damian Lillard.
Okay. Shooter.
Curry.
Passer.
Stockton.
Dunker.
Neek.
Okay. Dominique Wilkins.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Coach.
Riley.
Okay. And last one I got is clutch.
James.
Okay. We got James twice on there. Okay. Cool. That was cool. Just wanted to see what you have for us. Let me get through these super chats real quick, and if you don't mind, maybe we'll bring up 1 or 2 more guys, and we'll call it one.
We rolling pretty good here. Okay,
cool. So first we got from Tay Peso Gaming. He said, OG, what you think about a Trae Young, Clint Capella trade for Ayton and Mikal Bridges, and maybe some draft capital to match the salaries? Murray takes over.
Murray takes over at the lead guard. That means you would have to change the offense, because Murray at the lead guard, he ran in that system with Pop where it was a lot of ball movement. See, with Trae getting off the crew, Trae is the primary ball handler. So that means that the offense would have to change in Atlanta. I don't mind it, because because Ayton and Capella, Ayton is a better scorer. So because Ayton is a better scorer, he's going to generate more offense. And Mikal Bridges, he's basically what Murray is on the perimeter, just as good a defender at the small forward spot. Mikal Bridges, by the way, reminds me of Eddie Jones. I'm a huge Mikal Bridges fan. I was a big Eddie Jones fan, but I don't mind it. I don't mind that. I don't mind that trade at all. But the offense, the only way for it to work in Atlanta is the offense has to change, because it would go from now a ball dominant guy in Trae to the ball has to move, because Murray's not that kind of guy who's a ball dominant guy. He's really good off the basketball, really good.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges and DeJounte Murray in the same back. That's scary. It's going to be hard to get the ball across half court.
It's like GP and Nate McMillan.
Right. Okay, we got one more from my man Tay Peso Gaming. Book gets scoring help and still decent facilitating. Hawks get wing defense with Bridges and a center who has more offensive ability, just like you had just said already. So that's a win-win in his opinion. It's a win-win in our opinion as well, my man.
No doubt. That. Yeah, no doubt.
Let me see. Got a few more. We'll get through these before we send that link back out. We got another one from Travis Weems. Oh, actually, we're gonna get to some of this. Actually, you know what, Travis? I'm gonna save this one for a second. All right, my man. Just
we're gonna hold on to this.
We'll get back to that one, because that's kind of on our agenda. So, appreciate the chat. We're gonna move you down the line a little bit. Okay, from Liam McLean. Congrats on your show, OG.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming through. We appreciate you. No doubt.
Definitely, no doubt. From Aricho Anon, do you think KD and Russ would have won eventually?
I would have liked to have seen it, Ox. I really would have. The reason why KD left Oklahoma City, because he didn't think that they could win. And I would have liked to have seen it. That's why I have such a difficult time with this logic that, you know, if Steph Curry wins another NBA championship, we got to put him ahead of LeBron James. Well, wait a minute. Hang on for a second. KD is looking at Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the gatekeeper. So in order for you to get to James, you got to get past him. And y'all can't get past them. Curry is looking at James going, we can't beat them.
Right.
When we healthy and they healthy, we can't beat them. So this is what you and me are going to do. We're going to team up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to beat them. So that's kind of an unfair advantage to say something like that, because it's not like Curry got what he got without having to do that. I mean, James did what he did with Kevin Love and with Kyrie Irving, two dudes who had never been to the playoffs ever before James got on that crew. Never been to the playoffs, never had done anything in the postseason before James got on that crew and took them to the NBA Finals. So Curry, who also had championship aspirations and experience and had won it without KD, then KD gets on the crew. That makes them so much better. So much better. So I think it's an unfair comparison when you talk about Curry, but I would have loved, Big Ox, I would have loved to have seen if Curry, if Russ and KD would have stayed together, maybe they could have retooled that roster and they could have beat them. Would have
loved to see it, but you know the cell. What does the saying go? Enemy of my enemy is my friend. So
yeah, it is.
You know, they had to get together and make it happen. So let me see. We got to grab a couple more. Okay, we got one right here from Vamp. The new PC content has been fire. Glad Chill got his own show, and J Rob's show was lit too. Ox, you're next.
Word.
Right on,
absolutely.
My man. Right on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. We're gonna stay working hard.
Think about it like a solo album. Like, this is my solo album coming out. That's and then Ox, his solo album coming out. So that's basically what it is. But we all under the Player's Choice label. Yes.
What's that? We basically the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's what we are.
Yeah. Okay. Got one more we'll get through. TMF Willie, what's up, my guy? Chltwn and Ox, the combo we never knew we needed. Shoot, hey, I knew.
Now you got it.
Yeah, right on.
Now you got it.
Let me see. Let me catch up with this one. We just got one came through. All right. So, okay, we'll show this one real quick. Hold on. They're starting to come in pretty quick right now. Gotta keep up with them. Okay, show this one. Love the show. Chilled. Also love seeing Ox as the host, W host.
Word.
Right on.
Ox is definitely that dude.
We definitely appreciate the love, y'all. So I'm also about to shoot that link back out, y'all. We're not gonna be able to take too many more people, but you know, we'll have a couple more of y'all come up and, you know, see what y'all got for, if y'all want to learn. As y'all have seen so far, you know, Chill up here teaching, so don't miss the opportunity to learn something today. Let me see. I'm getting that out to y'all right now. Here we go. Y'all get on it quick. It's only the first, maybe the first two gonna get on, so jump on it. I'm gonna get through a couple more super chats, y'all. You know what? We'll just go ahead and we'll speak on this one right now from my man that came through a little earlier.
Travis Wings, right?
Yeah, Travis. So from Travis Wings, it says, Chill. What trades would you like the Warriors to make before the deadline? Also, go Niners. We in great position this season with 2 QBs on rookie deals.
I'm feeling that, right? And we got one guy in Bosa. He's the only one that's not under contract after next season. He's the only one. Everybody else, our core stays together. We definitely got that. Now with the Warriors, and I kind of got blasted for this, but how about you? I think that the issue that the Warriors are having, one of them is perimeter defense. How about you call up Chicago and ask for Alex Caruso? What do you think it would take to get Alex Caruso up in the Bay? I think he comes cheap because I think the deal that he's on in Chicago, I don't think his deal is an extension. So what would it take? As good as DiVincenzo is, and I dig DiVincenzo. I'm a huge DiVincenzo guy, right? Yeah. But to have Alex Caruso as that ball hawk, I think he makes the difference defensively on the perimeter for that group. I don't know how the contract would work and what it would take to get him and what he would have to give up to get Alex Caruso out to the Bay, but I would love him in Golden State.
Yeah, he could definitely fill in for what GP2 was doing last year.
I think he may be a bigger, maybe better version than GP.
I agree. Let me see. Okay, so look, fellas. All right, we got Dark and Dave and TMF Willie. We're gonna bring y'all two up together so we can kind of run through these a little quick, if that's all right with you, Chill.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, great. Let's get it on.
What up, OG?
What's going on?
What up?
Man?
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What up?
What's up, y'all? What's up? How y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
Not too bad. Just came back from class.
Right on,
DB,
right
what
on.
up? What up, DD? What up? What's going on, brother?
So Chill, I don't know if you've seen me. I've been on your TikTok quite often, you know, big fan of yours. I wanted to know, because I'll be watching Players' Choice and you guys get pretty heated over there. Mm-hmm. Does it actually get on your nerves dealing with Ticket or like anyone?
Wow.
Not really. not really. It doesn't, because you know when you get in debates, I mean, it gets heated. You're right. It gets heated, and what you can't argue is you can't argue facts, right? So as long as whenever you countering facts with other facts, then I don't think it's a problem, and it's great for entertainment, man. It's great for entertainment.
It's very entertainment. Also, I see people in the chat commenting about the fact that I like to bring up logical shit. It's not my fault that I read books. You could deal with it. I'm sorry.
Who doesn't deal in logic?
Everyone's like, oh, he's talking about logical fallacies. Ooh, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, yeah, that's what if I'm debating basketball and there's a logical base to like come at something.
You can't argue with casuals.
They're like, oh no, he's talking about shit that makes shit logically. We gotta talk about basketball. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Right. That's what it is.
So. Chltwn, I go live.
What's up, brother?
I got a gripe with you.
Hold on.
A couple episodes ago in Players' Choice, I heard you was talking about Evan Mobley and how you were disappointed in his production this season.
Yeah. And
I was just wondering why do you think that? You don't think that Donovan Mitchell plays a part on that with him incorporating him in the offense?
Yes. I think that's largely due to why he looks like kind of the same guy offensively. And I think next year, I think it's going to go this way, because I think that now he's acclimated to playing with Donovan Mitchell. See, Evan Mobley we're talking about a second-year guy who's 20 years old, who's playing with a guy in Donovan Mitchell who's a bona fide superstar, right? Who's a bona fide star in the league. And he's not really sure if, he should be not just developing, but taking that step like he should, because this guy's coming over to the crew. And with this guy coming over to the crew, I may have to take a back seat, not realizing that, in order for us to get to where we got to go, you got to get better too, yo. Mm-hmm. So as good as Donovan Mitchell is, you got to get nice too. So when I watch Evan Mobley, I'm a big Evan Mobley fan. He gives me Chris Bosh vibes, right? One of the best. I thought he was going to make the All-League defensive team last year. And not only was he going to make the All-League defensive team, I think that he's an all-star in the making. But that step has to be taken where he can get better offensively. I didn't see the improvement offensively for him. Defensively, he kind of looked like the same guy, but that doesn't mean much because he can get better defensively. Same thing with rebounding. But I think that with Donovan Mitchell coming in, I think that stunted his growth, but not to the detriment of Cleveland. I think that with him now having to see what Donovan Mitchell brings, okay, I'm going to get on this unit and I'm going to get better because that means we're going to get better. And Donovan Mitchell is not going to stunt that.
Do you think the Cavs have any chance of actually making it like deep? I like even to the Eastern Conference Final or even to the finals at all?
We'll luck out. We'll luck out if we make it to the finals.
I think they're a year away. I think they're a semifinals team this year, but I think next year, I think Mobley comes back better. Jared Allen's one of the better rim protectors in the game. I'm a big Darius Garland fan. I love him. I think that this team is a year away from really challenging in the Eastern Conference. A tough Eastern Conference too, by the way.
Where does everybody have Evan Mobley ceiling on the panel? Where's your ceiling for Evan Mobley?
I think he's a multiple All-Star and a multiple All-NBA performer, and a multiple All-League defender.
What about you, Dark and Dad? What you got? What is his ceiling, Evan Mobley?
I just maybe, to be fair, if I'm being genuine, I don't watch him enough to make to make a statement like that. I don't have enough information to like speak on it, but from what the little that I have seen, I think I really don't see him doing. He kind of maybe Chris Bosh, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. You mean Chris Bosh, the multiple All-Star, multiple All-League. That guy Sep being an All-League defender too.
The Hall of Famer.
Maybe a worse Chris Bosh. That's my from what I've seen. But I'd have to watch him more to like make a.
I'll say his ceiling's like KG. His floor is like Bam Adebayo.
KG.
I don't think he's that good. I'm not sure he's that good.
I mean, that is a little biased. I'm Cleveland, you know.
Right now, you might be speaking on the past.
That's all right.
That might be a little biased. I don't know if
check it out.
Good, but wow.
Check it out. My man, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of bias sometimes, you know. Don't worry about it. But check it out, fellas. I thank y'all for coming up. Like I said,
appreciate you.
Got to move kind of quick. Next time, maybe y'all get a little bit more time.
No doubt.
Coming up, y'all.
Good to see you, brother. All right, yo. No doubt.
Okay, let me see. Let me get to
that KG is, and I'm a big fan of young KG, but
yeah,
I mean, Evan Mobley is KG, could be KG good. Ooh, that's putting a lot on it right there, B. That's putting a lot on it.
And you know, I'm not gonna lie. I said a couple months ago maybe that he got similar to a Tim Duncan, but you know, just trying to show the young boy some love. I don't think he's as good as Tim. I don't think he will be, but yeah, I can see a little bit of Tim Duncan in him though. Okay, let me see what we got right here. What is something that you think young players could learn from watching LeBron James game? That came from Brian Holiday.
Take care of your body more than anything. Take care of your body. See the kind of shape that James is in, how he takes care of his body. His game speaks for itself, like him being able to stretch the defense and putting the long ball in his game. But the thing that I think you can learn more than anything is take care of your body. That's how you're able to stick around for as long as he's stuck around. Now, I ain't saying that everybody's going to be able to stick around for 20 years, but if you take care of your body, your game will speak for itself.
Facts. That's a fact. Okay. Let's see right here. From Muhammad, Chltwn, the voice of reason.
Hey man, I'm not expecting everybody to agree with me, but if we disagree on everything, then man, like my grandmother told me, if we agree on everything, one of us shouldn't be here. But we can't disagree on everything.
Facts.
We can't do that.
Let me get the slide one more in there. Here we go. Yeah. Love from 916. Keep grinding. That's what's up. We're gonna stay lighting the beam.
Sactown in the house.
Yeah, we out here.
West Coast. Yes, we
are. I love to see Sacramento tapping in, man. Love to see. Let me see. We're gonna grab these next two fellas up real quick. Let me get Big Fan Breezy. What's up, my guy?
Dylan, man, love the show, you know.
Right on. Let me see who else. Let me get Desto. What's up with you?
What up, y'all? Hey, what up, Breezy?
Oh, what's good, Desto, man? What's popping with you?
Man. Hey, what's up, Ox? What's up, Chltwn?
What up?
Just let you fellas know we're gonna have to cut it a little short. We can't be on too long, but definitely want y'all to come up here, you know, speak your piece, make a couple statements, you know, show some love.
What's up, fellas? What's going on, Breezy? How you running, brother?
Shout to Ox, shout to Chltwn. I agree with the panel. I mean the chat. Y'all a good 1-2 combo. I like it. I know this is the first episode. I hope to see many more. And I figured that it would come after you and Elder versus. That was dope. I watched it more than one time. Still can't call it. But I kind of came with a bone to pick, not necessarily with Chill, but in that same verses, I seen him tell Elder he became a Philadelphia 76ers fan after Dr. J came to Philly, correct?
Yeah.
So my bone to pick is that I'm a Nets fan and y'all directly are impacted with Dr. J in a winning sense, like y'all the beneficiaries of the Nets championship team demise. So I automatically like the fact that the NBA came out with the Rivals Week. Right. Y'all up 2-0, unfortunately, but I think we tied going into the playoffs. Yeah. And yeah, I'm disgruntled about that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I feel like we were the sweethearts of the ABA, and if we came to the NBA with that same roster, we would have been a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So
with Doc and Buck Williams, and it would have been something serious, yo. Yes, it would have been something serious, no doubt.
I met Brian Taylor at the park. You know who Brian Taylor is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the point guard with Dr. J when they won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I just pulled up to say that I'm not a 76er fan. I'm a bomb on y'all all season. I'm a fan of Chltwn. I seen you on ESPN. I seen Richard Jefferson give you a shout out. So, you know, I love what y'all doing. Shout to you and Ox. I love the show. But
what part of Jersey you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, actually.
Oh, you from New York? Okay, I thought you was from Jersey. All right, that's what's up. No doubt, no doubt. So, like I said, when I was a kid, I was a big Philadelphia fan. They had Doc, they had Barkley, they had Moses, and I just and that's just what it was. And then these dudes started moving around, so it was just really hard to just stick with one team. So then I just became a fan of players after that.
Okay, respect.
Right on. What's up, Desktop?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I really want to ask you, OG, about because it was a player I had in mind. I was just thinking about it from something that happened the other day. I think it was against Detroit, and it was Ben Simmons. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, when I look at him, like I was a huge fan of him coming out of LSU, and like when he was drafted, I know he had broke his foot or whatever, but like it's just weird seeing like how confidence can affect like a player, and like I'm trying to see where does he go from here, like after this contract or after this season, because it's like that player here, like physically I can see he's still there. He's still a great defender. He's still a great in transition, a great passer. But it's like it's up here with him, and I'm not sure what can he do or what's next for him.
Well, first of all, he's in year one of the max deal. That contract that he signed in Philadelphia just kicked in this season. So that's number one. So he's not going nowhere. They're not moving him, so he's not going nowhere. So it's a matter of him getting it together mentally. And it's amazing that you talk about upstairs. That's Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's not going to blow you away with athleticism. Jimmy Butler ain't super nice with the pill, right? Jimmy Butler don't got a knockdown long ball or nothing like that. He ain't a great transition player. But whenever Jimmy Butler walk on the floor, he looking at everybody like, yo, I'm the nicest dude out here. Can't none of y'all dudes see me. Not
especially
one of y'all.
Playoffs.
It's not, and I don't care who is out there. Jimmy Butler makes it 100% clear. There's not one dude on this floor that got anything for me. And confidence is the difference. It's the difference between.
Hey, one of y'all got something crazy going on in the background.
So that's the difference in it. So I think that Ben Simmons, I think he's one of those guys. To be honest with you, I think he loves what comes with the game as opposed to what about the game. I think he loves what comes with the game more than he actually loves the game. Because if you notice the greats, those are the guys who put the work in and they improved and they got better because they love the game. They didn't love what just came with the game. And that's what I think the difference is with Ben Simmons. I think he loves what comes with the game instead of actually digging the game.
You think it was I'm just trying to see, like, do you think it was like a shift, or you think it's just he just always been like that? Because I'm not like I see a different player than the guy I seen in Philadelphia. Like the last time I seen this was maybe just against Atlanta, but other than that, I seen like an aggressive Ben Simmons throughout the regular season and the playoffs before. I'm not sure when the shift was.
The reason why you see a different player is because they were able to hide him in Philadelphia. You can't hide him in Brooklyn with what's going on, right? You would think that with Kyrie Irving and with Kevin Durant, he could just be able to do the things that he did in Philadelphia. Jacques Vaughn would welcome Ben Simmons knocking down a mid-range. He would welcome Ben Simmons grabbing the ball off the backboard and going straight to the basket. But the problem is he's not doing that. Not only is he's not doing that for one reason and one reason only. He's not doing that because he's afraid of the stripe. He's afraid to go to the free throw line. So he's afraid to get fouled. So instead, I'm going to get off the ball because I don't want people to see me at the free throw line. It's like kryptonite. So I think that came from I think that came from Philadelphia hiding him more than it is in Brooklyn. You can't hide him.
What's up, AD? What you got? What you got?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What up?
All right.
Yo, yeah. Hey, chill. I'm over here from Jersey too, man. I'm over here in Bergen County.
What up?
Shout out Jersey.
Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes from you. Chill.
Word. I'm in South Florida. I left Jersey like I was breaking out of prison 20 years ago.
Oh man, I feel bad.
Stop being gone. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good out here.
I got a little bone to pick with you and Ox, man. I know y'all love the dirty work, guys, and I know y'all like the underdogs. But I think y'all be putting a lot on some of these guys that ain't really that good, man. Y'all were talking
like
who?
Who?
Like for example, right? I think Ben Simmons is in the Horace Grant category. Like Horace, I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why. Horace was real good when he's with Mike and around other players. Just like you said, Ben Simmons, we had him in the cut when he was with Joel Embiid over there. But you put him on his own, he ain't really what you think he is. Same thing with your boy Pippen. I love me some Scotty too. I'm a Mike fan, but even Scotty, I think we overhype him up because we forget when Mike left, he went to Houston, and we like to hide those Houston years because people thought he was gonna be the transition guy to he gonna get them over the hump. He ain't do it then. Then he went to Portland. He was still supposed to be that guy. I think they had enough talent to make a run. He couldn't be that guy then, and then he kind of faded to black.
Right.
I think we kind of low key underrate. I swear, I think we low key underrate Jordan because what he did was so fake, and we've never seen anything like it that we don't really take the time to say, "Yo, what he did is literally unreal." Like everybody on his team was trash to me. I don't think all them cats on the Bulls were nice. Steve Kerr, he could hit a couple threes. Grant was a good dirty work guy. I give him that. But a lot of these cats when Mike left, they wasn't really heard of. So he uplifted a lot of cats.
That's fair, but let's rewind the clock. So when Jay leaves, when Jay leaves in the 93-94 season, Ho Grant made the All-Star team that year when Jay left. So when he didn't have Jay, he made the All-Star team that year. Not only did he make the All-Star team, he made the All-League defensive team too. And in the process of him doing that, Scottie Pippen finished third that year in league MVP votes. Not only did he finish third in league MVP votes, Scottie Pippen, the 2 years that he didn't have Jay, first team All NBA, both of those years. When Jay comes back, first team All NBA. Now, what we have to do is we got to remember we're talking about tiers here. Now, was Scottie Pippen Jay good? Nah, he wasn't Jay good. But was he a great complimentary player? I think he's the most underrated player in NBA history because I think he was the best complimentary player in NBA history. And the first thing that people say when they talk about Scottie Pippen is, you had Jay. That's the first thing that they talk about, completely leaving out how awesome he was. You know that Scottie Pippen, when he retired #1 all-time in small forwards as a distributor? That's ahead of Bird. That's ahead of Bird. So with that being said, just because I wasn't Jay good doesn't mean that I really wasn't that dude. Same thing just because I wasn't Jay good doesn't mean I wasn't that dude. Same thing with Ho Grant, one of the best dirty work guys in NBA history. They ain't winning none of those games. They aren't winning any of those championships without Ho Grant, right? If you look at who they plugged in, they had to plug in Dennis Rodman in order to win. So it's not like they just plugged in.
Who was trash though? He was trash.
Absolutely not. He absolutely not.
No.
You're talking about it.
When I say trash, when I say trash, if you look at his production, we know he's gonna rebound the ball, but he's not putting up all the points that he didn't put up. Say Ho Grant produced. Say we give him what? We give Ho Grant 12 to 15 a game, give or take.
Okay,
that's
something
fair.
like that. That's fair.
Dennis wasn't doing that, so you got to have Mike. He has to make up for a whole other player's offensive production in the midst of all this after coming back from another sport a year and a half later. And that team was Scotty 93-94. If I might be mistaken, that was essentially the same team from 92-93. Or how many changes were there? How many people moved?
So before you go any further, and I'm going to let you finish. Before you go any further, the first three-peat team that Jay was on, the second three-peat team, Mike and Scotty, the only two dudes on that team. That was it. The whole roster was flipped over.
Yeah. So for somebody to come back, right? Like we give LeBron, for somebody to come a whole new team, man, we give LeBron crazy props if he does this. Mike came back to a whole new team after playing in a whole different professional sport. He left for a year and a half, a professional sport. That shit is hard for us to do if we go to another job right now for 3 weeks to come back. He went to a whole new professional sport, came back with a whole new team, had the best record ever up until the Warriors did what they did. And then
one second, Eddie.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Brizzy. That's all. Y'all got anything to add to this? Or?
I just found it kind of weird. I ain't never heard anybody call Michael Jordan underrated. That was kind of crazy to me.
Me personally, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to put that fan in the pan. I disagree with a lot of stuff that he said. You know what I mean? I just came here to chill. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cook nobody. You know what I mean?
Like, no, not at all. Not at all.
But with that being said, like I said, with Dennis Rodman, like you said, he was trash. So Dennis Rodman, his ability to rebound. So when Dennis Rodman rebounds, particularly on the offensive side, what he's doing is now he's extending plays. He's extending plays for guys like Steve Kerr. He's extending plays for Jay. He's extending plays for guys like Luke Longley. He's extending plays for these guys to get more shots and to put those guys in better position. Not only that, when he's on the backboard, when he's defending, what he's also doing is he's beating up on their big men, which now puts them in a position where they're in foul trouble, which opens up the lane even more because now the other team, their second unit big man has got to come on the floor, and we're gonna beat him up even more, which is what Dennis was doing. So the logic of him being trash in terms of buckets, that's just one side of the argument, and I think that he made up for that for all the other stuff that he did.
Right, that's a
fact. I can agree to a certain extent, but you still got to, you still got to make up for that. Somebody got to make up for 15 points every game.
But they did though. They won the NBA championship 3 straight years. What are we talking about?
This is my point. That's what I'm saying.
When you look at the Bulls, like the second 3-peat, like they lost Horace Grant, like you said, but they went and got Tony Kukoc, who was there for that second 3-peat. And then how you say Dennis Rodman? Yeah, he wasn't bringing in the points per se that Horace Grant was bringing up, but his defense and his rebounding, that's like he's like the best rebounder of all time. Like you brought him in right after they end up losing to the Shaq, and then that brought in that helped them win 72 games the next season. So I mean, it's just different elements of the team that got better once they lost those guys too. And Dennis Rodman was key to that.
That's a fact, Desto. Well, check it out, Breezy, Desto, ID. I thank y'all for coming up,
appreciate
chilling with us.
Be easy, Jersey, Brooklyn in the house.
Y'all have a good one.
Y'all always welcome up here, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
All right, y'all. Yeah, Chid, that was solid out of them. You know, let me get through a couple more of these super chats real quick.
Yep.
Got 2 left. Let me see. Jersey. It's from Benny Hannes. Jersey. But chill, ask Ox this question. 18K Love or 93 Horace Grant? What you think, Chill?
Man, Horace Grant, in terms of being a dirty work guy, I think that Kevin Love was a better player. His ability to stretch the defense. I think that's where the separator was, because Kevin Love, his ability to clean glass. I mean, he pulled down 18. I think he pulled down 18 boards in 16. In that game 7, I think he pulled out 16 or 18 rebounds. So I think that in terms of rebounds, I don't think that's the separator. I think that those two, I mean, I think they go hand in hand, because Ho Grant was just as much of a dirty work guy. I think Kevin Love was a better player offensively. And I think that Kevin Love 18, I think that he might have been better than Ho Grant 93. But I'm not sure that he fits with that unit in 93 though, with Jay.
Yeah, we were asked that question on Player's Choice, I think, a couple Sundays ago, and most of us did go with Horace Grant.
Yeah, I said
Kevin. Yeah, I said Kevin Love's ability to spread out the floor a little bit was might be slept on, but I think I'm gonna go with Horace Grant. K Love was a hell of a rebounder.
Yeah,
but they're talking about 18. Kevin Love. They would have went maybe a few years before that when he was in Minnesota, when he was rebounding like an animal over there.
Yeah.
Let me see. This last super chat that we got in here is from Sharky HD. We seen Russ Harden fail expectations. People calling Jokic better offensively than Kobe is a bit premature if he never wins anything and drops off.
That's a fact, yo. That is a fact. I've always had an issue with a guy doing something for a year or 2 years or maybe even 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's the best to ever do it, or he's one of the best. Like, wait a minute, man. Like, don't we, when we talking about all-time greats did it for a long time. Like I talked about with Olajuwon. Olajuwon had a 10-year stretch where he averaged 25, 13, and almost 4 blocks. And then that production went up in the playoffs. 9 years, he averaged 27, 13, and 3 blocks in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he did it for a long time. Like, to do something for 2-3 years, that ain't enough for me. I care about how long you did it too. That matters.
Well, nowadays people also want that instant gratification, so they don't got time for you to prove it to them. They see you do it for 5 games, and all of a sudden you're the greatest to ever walk.
No, man.
Let me see. We got one more from my man Leaf Diggy. What's up, man? Says Jersey to BK. Chltwn, I see you. I'll see you soon. Utah, #1 pick.
Hey.
Leaf Diggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people telling me to drop the link again, but I got to cut it off, y'all. This isn't one of those 3-hour shows that you will see on Wednesday morning, Sunday morning, or Tuesday around afternoon, so it's not a 3-hour show. But let me wrap it up with just one more thing, Chltwn. So my man I think it was Adam Weems was his name. Or
Travis
Weems. Weems. He had brought up the Warriors in the trade. Mm-hmm. What do you think as far as the trade deadline? Do you have any teams in mind that you think are desperate to trade? Any teams that you think have to trade? Or what do you think? You think it's going to stay smooth? You don't see any big blockbusters, anything coming up? Or what you got?
The trade deadline, which is next Thursday, February 9th. Okay. Yeah, the trade deadline. It's a lot of times the trade deadline is much to do about nothing. Now, in between that, there's going to be some teams that are going to make some moves, right? I think that Toronto is looking to move off of Van Fleet. I think they're looking to move off of OG Anunoby. I think they're looking to build that unit around Scotty Barnes. I think he's the guy that I think they're looking to build that unit around him, and he's going to be the guy there. Like I told you before, I would love to see the Warriors make a run at Alex Caruso, considering what they would have to give up to get him. I don't think anything big needs to be made in Phoenix, to be quite honest with you. I think health is the issue. They were the #2 seed last year, right? Chris Paul is older, and I don't know what his value is on the open market, so I'm not really sure what they could get for him. I don't really see anything big happening at the trade deadline, but I do think that there's going to be some things that are going to happen up until that point. No doubt about that. I'm still waiting on this. Jay Crowder in Phoenix. I'm still trying to figure out what the holdup is in Phoenix. I like Jay Crowder in Miami too. I think he gives them a better version of PJ Tucker. I would love to see PJ Brown. I would love to see Jay Crowder in Miami. And I don't think you have to give up much to get him. I don't.
No, I don't think so either. Somebody said earlier that they had PJ going to Milwaukee. What do you think about that? Is that a good fit or?
PJ Tucker to Milwaukee? I mean, you mean
Not
Jay
PJ,
Crowder?
I'm sorry, Jay Crowder to Milwaukee.
Jay Crowder to Milwaukee. Yeah, I think I like him in Milwaukee. See, the problem with him in Phoenix was Jay Crowder wanted a bigger role offensively. That was the issue. He was looking at himself like I'm better than a 4th or 5th guy. I should be more involved in the offense. I'm a solid defender. I'm a good transition player. I'm a good stop and pop guy, and I should be more involved in the offense than I am. So him being in Milwaukee, I think he fits with that unit. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Is there anything else you want to touch on, Chltwn?
Hey man,
you got anything else?
Nah, man, we good. First show in the books, ladies and gentlemen. First show in the books. Thanks for coming through. We appreciate you.
We thank y'all for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. Same place, same time. Let me finish with saying, y'all, make sure y'all read a book, drink some water, and don't drink and drive, y'all.
Take it light, but take it. Big Ox, let me get you. Let me get